And welcome to the Spiritual Speakeasy, where the bar is always open and the spirits are always served. And tonight's guest is Chelsea Snyder with Enchanted, Metaphysical and Mystics, and Venus Rising, and like a whole bunch of other stuff. Like she's the madam of everything.
I've been called worse.
and wobbles and stomps. I have to get wobbles and stomps in there too. Hi, Carol. I'm giving people a chance to get on. And we welcome Chelsea. She was on, was it this time last year? No, it was fall.
Yeah, it was before November.
Yeah. So what is new?
That was.
Like it seems like it's been a year.
It does.
It feels like it's been a year. And what a year it's been. What a year it's been. What's new on your end?
Me? Nothing. Nothing ever happens here. So let's see.
but
trying to think of, so it was November, so I'd already moved. Yeah, no, we actually everything slowed down for a little while.
You had a Ren Fest. You did Ren Fest.
Oh, that's right. We did Ren Fest. Arkansas Renaissance Festival. It's their last year was their first year, and the permanent structure should be pretty fun for anybody interested in coming out this year. We're doing Viking thing next weekend.
Ooh.
Is the weekend where they're doing Viking things.
What Vikings do?
The Vikings do plunder and I don't know.
Lots of mead, lots to drink.
Actually, there is, as far as I know, this at least at the Renaissance Festival here, there won't be any.
What?
Dry counties.
Oh,
yeah. So I don't know if they're going to ever go in that direction, but as far as I know,
crazy.
Yeah,
I have never been to a dry Ren Fest.
It's different. It's definitely different than what most people would expect. Who knew that having alcohol made it just that much more merry, like everything else,
Yeah.
But less belligerence and stuff like that too. So
That's true. I'm just used to all the Ren Fests and the Viking Fests I go to. There's always picklebacks and
right.
And Viking blood.
Mm-hmm.
There's always those two alcohols and a lot of festivities.
Yeah, no, but they had really good falafel. So if you're a falafel person, they had really good falafel.
Falafel is good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better with picklebacks and Viking blood. But falafel is good. I'm not going to say anything bad about falafel. So wobbles and stomps, how's it coming along? Are you overfilled? Do you need?
Oh, we are so full. Oh, it's ridiculous. We actually got rid of. No, I hate to say it. We didn't get rid of. We say that, and it's wrong to say that.
You adopted out.
Our last unbroken kitten got adopted out this afternoon. She is with her new family right now, and so we have some broken kittens still. Broken as in they're healing, and they just all have either physical or they all have physical issues that are going on, which is why we do what we do. We're special needs animal sanctuary, so we take in the cases most of the time of animals that would otherwise just get put down or immediately get abandoned, as opposed to get abandoned, just because they were too much behaviorally. These are the ones that get tossed out because they needed eye surgery or were really sick with an illness or something like that. So those are the ones that we take in. We get them fixed up, and hopefully we adopt them out again. If we do not find people to take them, then we house them here. And then we have a lot of dogs.
Oh, wow.
A lot of dogs that are in the hard to adopt category because they're not small, fluffy, cute little white dogs. They're, pit mixes or just your standard medium-sized brown dog. And there's so many of them that we have a lot of those. So if anybody wants, a medium-sized brown dog, just let us know. We get them trained. We teach, we potty train them. We crate train them. We get them ready to spend time with the family. They're just
That's awesome.
for their families.
And do you adopt out of state as well? Because we have a lot of out of state listeners and viewers.
Yes, we will even help transport. We have very few limitations beyond finding the good families that are going to keep them.
That's good. And your proceeds for the fairs, the metaphysical shows that you do, all go to Wobbles and Stomps.
Yes, absolutely. We and whether it's for the animals that are in our care, or we can help get other animals outside of our care spayed or neutered, things like that. We're really big on that, because the fewer babies there are out there, the fewer animals we have to take on ourselves. So that's one of them here. This is our deaf kitten.
Hi.
Say hi. This is Shade, Slim Shady. He's deaf. He's a cuddly guy. So anyway,
he's gotten bigger since yoga.
He has. He's and stinkier.
Oh boy. Yeah. They do that.
Yeah, they do.
So Chelsea also has a yoga studio, and she does online classes and does all kinds of other great things. She's a reader. She's a metaphysical worker. I cannot use my words today.
It's like that.
There are days. And you do other things. Do you do all that online and people can book you, or?
Yeah, everything I do right now is live stream or by appointment only. After moving to Arkansas, there wasn't a whole lot of options other than that. So that's kind of where it's ended up. And I enjoy it. It helps me with the animals as well, and the other stuff that I'm doing.
And Nancy says, easy for you to say. Yeah, some words, they just don't come out right when you go to speak them. And you'll find out when you're live, that's when they don't come out right.
Of course.
It's okay. It's all part of what it is. We keep it real here. Sometimes it's weird, but it's real. So how is Arkansas? How's the community down there as far as the shows and the openness? Any more open?
So I lived here in Arkansas, Central Arkansas, 20-something years ago. And it was an issue back then with, the Bible Belt and the discrimination and things like that. I feel it's a little better than it used to be. But I am also seeing that changing just since I've been here and the way the world is right now.
Yeah.
So I've definitely seen a lot more open, it's not hatred, but ignorance more than anything. And, but I've also seen a lot more people who seem to understand that, if you're into crystals, it doesn't mean you're going anywhere bad, that they're just pretty rocks that may or may not feel good. So it's kind of, on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, like you said, you're spot on. That's a trend. I think worldwide, or at least United States wise. I can't speak for the world, but from what I see on Facebook from all over, rocks are definitely more accepted than a lot of things.
Yes.
They're more accepted than tarot cards and readers and things like that. And even then there's more generic readers that kind of fit into all areas I'm seeing. And that's a positive thing, I think, too. That'll open doors.
I think so. I think every little bit that we move forward helps continue that progression forward. I don't think that, if you can go to Five Below and get a deck of tarot cards that are not, that haven't been stolen, and haven't been, you can get a real deck from Five Below. I don't think that hurts anybody.
No.
I don't think so. I think it gives people the opportunity to experience something that they couldn't otherwise, and maybe they move forward with it, and maybe they don't.
Right. And it's not the gateway that is perceived out there. I mean, a lot of the decks, the oracle decks and things like that, are there for self-exploration. And,
Yeah.
you know, you get to know yourself. The cards help you with different things. And even if you don't believe they're divine or there's any kind of energy coming through, you pick a card, it's a thought for the day. It's a
Right.
meditation for the day. It's
Mhm.
not always prophecy or prophetic if you don't want to believe that it is. It can just be a motivation.
Right. Right. I was we did a full moon tarot talk last week, and I was explaining to somebody who had never really worked with tarot cards and was curious, because one of the questions that I hear a lot is, well, how do the cards come out the way they do and know exactly what they should say? And I explain that. So like with bibliomancy, which is where you can open a book, usually people, tend to think of the Bible, and you thumb through the pages, you think of your question, and then you put your finger down on, a sentence or something, and that's the answer to your question. Like it's the same kind of thing. It's just instead of thumbing through a book to find that particular inspiration, you're shuffling cards. It's not any different, really.
No. And it's, to me, I like to tell people it's generic. Everything is written so that it fits a situation for someone someplace.
Mm-hmm.
Even for people who go to church on Sundays, the sermons are geared towards humanity.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And I mean, some are iffy, but I'm giving a lot of leeway there. Let's say an open denomination church, when you walk in and everybody's accepted, per se.
Mm-hmm.
The sermon is generic so that it has, everybody can draw a little bit in piece from where they are right now in their life or
Yeah.
what they're going through. And your cards are no different.
Right. Exactly.
And so energy wise, yes, you're getting the message that you may need to hear, but you're also drawing, you have to have enough insight into what you're going through to be able to see that message with anything.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Very true.
How do you feel about what's going on in the media now? Like, I'm seeing so many metaphysical workers turned off from all the mainstream battles and the people like going after people and the whole thing like that.
So I watch this a lot, and I've watched this for years, because of doing social media and having to make sure that, all of the clients that I work with get what they need. So it seems people are just tired, whether they're in metaphysics or not. People are just tired. This is exhausting. And with the way technology makes us continue to go back, we're constantly on this hamster wheel of exhaustion. And then as an energy person or an energy worker or a reader or anybody in metaphysics that deals with energy, we're absorbing so much of that consciously. Like anybody who does not fit into those little labels, they're not really consciously absorbing that energy. Like we're like, hey, I'm a tarot reader. I'm going to read your cards. I've got to connect with your energy. So that's kind of where we go into it.
Mm-hmm.
Normal people, whoever, non-tarot or non-metaphysical people, don't necessarily have that offering right off the bat. So we sponge it up a little bit more, a little bit differently, and we get really, really tired. And then we start to see that pushback happen. And that pushback hurts our feelings. It hurts our feelings, and we're already exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's nothing there to continue to like prop us back up, whether it's somebody having a nice comment or somebody asking for a reading or somebody whatever that is for that person, they're naturally gonna to turn off that mainstream and go within a little bit more, or find somewhere else to go where they feel appreciated and connected.
I think that's really valid, because it is like a hamster wheel, and we're exhausted. And I think the general public is exhausted, and I think people are very fearful. And I think the fear is a form of stress, as we know,
Yeah.
and it makes people more irritable. And we're going to the media to look for the positive comments. And on media, anybody can say anything they want. And unfortunately, they don't have to back it up. They're not there in person. So if they hurt people's feelings, most of them online that hurt people's feelings don't give a fuck.
Right. No,
I mean, they just blatantly, and sometimes I think they do it just for the rise, or they do it for the likes, or they do it for the comments, because whether it's negative or positive, you're getting that feedback and you're getting boosted. So you put anything you want there and people are going to hate it or like it, and it boosts your ratings. And then, so there's no filter taking place there.
Right. Right. No, absolutely not. And unfortunately, the people that are more against these practices are the ones that are getting more of the juice right now, which again, it's that same hamster wheel where it's like, what is the point? But also on the flip side of this, I've talked about this a lot the last couple of weeks. Mystics and people in metaphysics and readers and all of this, we've never really existed in the mainstream to begin with.
Right.
So is it that we're leaving it, or is it maybe that we're returning home a little bit more than what we were? It was nice to have acceptance. It was nice to have, the cards you could get at Five Below and all of that, great stuff. But if that's not where we're supposed to be, is it really a loss?
I mean, we existed back when I was growing up, and we did it in the dark spaces. Nobody knew about us.
Right. Right.
And we still did what we did. And we still did what we did. Fine. We did what we did.
Exactly.
And I mean,
so rather than battling the bullies and battling the algorithms and all of that sort of thing, maybe it's just time to, start to reconnect with that source that we began with.
It's a very good point. It's a very good point. And not let your feelings be tied up into something that is not even it's not reality based. I mean, the media is not reality based at all. Your social media, your electronics, that is being driven. Supernatural Inc. commented and said, there's she's noticed a change in some humans, not all, but some, and mainstream messaging is what is taking place. It's for real. The drive is complete. I mean, you're connected by watch, you're connected by phone, you're connected by all kinds of devices that come on and talk to you and are listening to everything that we do. And people don't want to leave that behind. And sometimes I think it's healthier if we do.
I think it's absolutely healthier. It's hard as a business person alone. And this is something that I do struggle with. It's hard to say I can't be on those networks because it's part of working. It's part of generating income and all that other stuff. But at the same time, where's your mental health with that?
Yeah. Well, and it's so driven. Like, you're constantly checking statuses, and when you're a business, you're having to watch for those things, and you're having to keep the electronic trolls out, and you're having to keep the people that are surfing for funds and the scam artists off your pages, and the duplicate. My God, how many accounts can you have? Like, I think I have this one guy. I don't know what he is. I don't know if he's an influencer or what his title is. I ended up getting on his page because he's like got more tattoos than I have. And it was flashy, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. Like, he's got more ink than I have. And I think I have like 25 of his names, and they all have different people. They're scamming him constantly. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, and it's, but if you just friend me, I'll respond back to you in private, and it's like, how many do you have to have? It's
right.
And we're constantly checking businesses. Linda says, living in a senior apartment complex of 3 buildings with gardens. We are independent living folks, and many of our friends have passed on. This community is supportive in a lot of ways, and prayers go around in a big way. And you're right about that. That is That is the positive, Linda, of social media. That's how I feel like it should be used, for the positive, and to get messages out and communicate with family that you might not get to talk to and see in person. Your Facebook lives and your Facebook calling and things like that. People can talk to people that haven't been able to do that before. And that's the plus. That's the positive side of it. Unfortunately, one bad apple can ruin it for a lot of people and make it very, very messy. I missed a comment a minute ago. What type of cards do you recommend? Let's go back to that question.
Oh, this is great question. So I recommend the cards that resonate with you the best, if that makes it any easier. I've used probably hundreds of decks, whether they're tarot decks or oracle decks or whatever. I'm definitely more on the tarot side of things, but I started with a King Arthur deck, was my first deck that I really, really used to study. And then it's gone in different places since then.
So for me, I like oracle decks. I don't know why. I think because for me, I'm one of those people that if I don't want to get the message, I can bullshit my way through a tarot deck. But there's something about that word on a tarot deck, oracle deck, that's standing out in bold, that is that one message you're supposed to get. And it's like, there's that word and it's facing me, and I can't go, well, maybe it really kind of sort of means this and this and this. I got the word staring at me. And, it's like, okay, you called me out. The card called me out, and it always calls me out on that. It's like, a 7 of Wands is great. I can bullshit my way around a 7 of Wands or whatever, but, I don't know. There's something about that word.
See, and I'm the other way. And I've been on a podcast, or I had a podcast a couple years ago. And this was one of our first shows that we did, was tarot versus oracle, because I'm on team tarot and my friend was on team oracle deck. And I think that I like the system of tarot. I think that it gets so deep and in your face, and you can't have just one word, because we're not just one word people sometimes it's fine. But that's why I like tarot, and it's a never-ending study. It's like yoga. It's something
that's
that
true.
Goes
that's
on
true
and on and on, and I like to get sucked into those things.
How long did it take you to use your preferred deck? That's another I think back. That's been a long time with that deck. I'm going to say probably a year. It probably took me about a year. Just to actually, what I did, I ended up, because it was a King Arthur based deck, Arthurian legend deck. And so I not only had the deck, but then I went back and I read all of the stories so that I could understand the cards a little bit better. And I'm a big nerd like that. And so that was probably a huge part of all of that. So yeah, a good year, I'd say. Stories are a big part of a lot of the tarot decks too. Especially if you're into the pictures on them, and you pick a deck that is a story deck, because a lot of them are based on stories. Right. And so you can get in really deep to the stories of your deck, which helps you understand the individual cards as well. It does. It's really helpful, especially if you're brand new, but probably even now, if I found one that was a good story that I was into, it would probably, nothing ever doesn't help you learn more. And that makes sense. Well, no, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. Linda says, many of the seniors know the family members of their neighbors. At times it feels like a college dormitory, but you just a lot more knowledgeable. Yeah, because you have a small community within yourself. That's great. Very supportive. And I feel like nowadays that's really important. Mm-hmm. I feel like that support is important. Carol says, I feel like as your vibration rises, the people who are creating the drama will fall away. And then we become free of that ego or fear-driven mindset.
Hopefully.
That would be the goal.
That would be lovely. Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
No,
Until that one person
need other
catches you up
people.
and whoop, you're back in it again.
But we need them. We need them
We
because
do.
we check in with ourselves too. And we need that because sometimes we are assholes.
Yes, we are.
And we are bullies. We
I
are
am
bad
not going to
people.
deny that.
So if there's somebody out there, you can be like, well, okay, that sucked, but I did that too at one point. You know,
Yeah.
you got to own it.
Recognize it within yourself. And I've had to do that recently with several different people, like, you know, especially I think when you're down or you don't feel good and you're weary and you're just tired of it all, sometimes you don't put the filter on your mouth and you're very quick to speak your truth and hurt other people. And I think I've had to come out of that several times in the last few weeks and go, oh shit, my bad. That was something I was feeling in the moment that should have been filtered, that was not filtered at all. And I dumped it on you, and now your feelings are hurt, and I'm sorry.
It happens.
You know, like in that moment it was true. But after the fact, then I didn't feel like it was so true. It was just a whole lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Jim. Hi, Greg. Does anybody have any questions for Chelsea? She has a big calendar coming up. A big calendar. We're going to get it up there. We run the ticker tape all the time. So when the little skull dude with the trees coming out, when it changes to the F on Facebook, not fuck you or fuck, but Facebook, although sometimes I feel like it's a fuck you Facebook.
All the time.
See? You can click on that and that takes you out there when it just flashed. There's the little thumbs up and the flag. That is to Chelsea's next big weekend in Conway. And so that's a direct link to buy tickets. It links to her Facebook page with Enchanted Metaphysical and Mystics. Linda says, do you have a lot of different decks?
Yes. So behind me, you can't see it because it's smoke and mirrors. There's a bunch of boxes behind me right now because I've been cleaning, kind of. And in those boxes are probably 50 more decks that I buy. I stopped doing it, but I would buy and I would be like, I love this new deck, and I would never even look at it. So yeah, because you know, I think I even told you, Julie, at I think the last Enchanted, I'm like, I bought a fascism tarot deck. I don't know if it's for or against it. It was actually against fascism.
Okay.
I didn't know, but I liked it. And then, you know, we buy stupid shit all the time. Mine is apparently tarot decks and books. And then they sit there and I don't do anything with them.
I have two deep dresser drawers or chest drawers full of tarot decks. Chris, my husband, had suggested when we vend, he always tells people when they say, oh God, I don't need another deck, I never look at them, and I want to look at them because I buy them for the pictures, to go to like the Salvation Army or one of those places that sells used furniture and get yourself one of those big coffee tables that has the glass top that you can put things under.
Oh.
And he's always like, lay out your deck, and then next month take that deck down and put a new deck out and put your whole deck out so that you can see all of the pictures every month. And everybody's like, that's such a great idea. I have yet to do it, and mine are still in the drawers. But I still keep buying decks, and I love that. Like,
that's great though. That's one day.
It's goals, you know, or put them up on a magnetic board so you can change them around or do something.
Yeah.
Do you ever have that deck made from regular playing cards?
I do.
So that is a whole different thing. Like, they have tarot decks that are playing cards, and then there are people who read playing cards.
Right. Yeah. Well, tarot derived from playing cards.
So, yeah, and that's a hoodoo thing too.
That's true. That's
right. A lot of hoodoo readers will read playing cards, and they don't read the tarot decks, they read the playing cards.
Yeah.
And so amongst a lot of other things that they can read, shells and other things. I always found that fascinating.
Yes.
I am not able to do that. That's definitely a gift to be able to do that. I mean, I can play poker, but that's as far as I go with playing cards. Like, don't read them. Let's past life. I used a past life deck when I did research into the supernatural. Yep. Seashells is another form of reading. Yeah, and you'll see people do coconuts. That's another African tradition, Santeria, some of those, they will cut the coconut shells, or they break a coconut and then they read the pieces, how they fall. Obi, I think they call it Obi, in the readings, the Obi readings. I find it best to use a sweetgrass basket when using seashells. Okay. I'm curious, does that clean the shells, or does that help them gain energy to be able to read? We'll wait on that post. So many different things to read, so many fun things to do. So who all are you going to have out at your next Conway? Who else coming out to Conway?
Everybody is going to be
Hey, come on out. I would so say something right now. Hundreds, millions, everybody's coming out there.
So right now we're right at about 50 vendors, which will be our largest so far, which I'm very excited about. We're going to have Larry Flaxman's going to be out again. So he will be talking about his paranormal investigation stuff that he does. Then we'll have Stephanie from Painted Cake Studio is going to be out. She's going to do a workshop, and Deborah Burris is doing another workshop for us. And trying to remember my list. I'm right at that moment of listing everything out, so it's a little bit foggy. I will be teaching something. I'm not really sure what I'm going to teach yet. So I kind of wait till everybody gets all their stuff in, and then I'm like, okay, so I can I'll fit this in. Yeah. So, but it looks like it's going to be, a pretty good time. If you want to come out to Little Rock, Conway area.
It's a lot of fun, and all different kinds of vendors too. I mean, all different kinds of vendors. You've got everything from readers of different kinds. I'm trying to think.
Jewelry, crystals, art. I love the art that we get. And we've got more new people this time than we've had in a while. So we've got a lot of new faces coming in, which is fantastic.
That's always good.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Always welcome to see new people, and vendors for the first time to me are super exciting.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Tattoo studio again coming?
Yes, they will be there. Yes.
Norma coming? Is Norma going to be there?
I'm not sure. I'd have to talk to Kylie and see. I'm not sure.
She's been on. She has quite the fandom here too. A lot of people showed a lot of interest in what she was doing with her blood work and her blood infused jewelry, and she
kind of just like pops up out of nowhere.
She does, doesn't she?
Like, I don't know if she's going to be there.
Well, that's Norma.
Yeah, it fits.
She just kind of is there, or she's not.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much.
Are there still psychic fairs happening? Absolutely, Linda. All over. And Chelsea has them in the Arkansas area. So she's doing Hot Springs, Little Rock, right? Little Rock.
Conway, Little Rock they're right next to each other.
Where else you going?
That's it this year. We decided to focus on building Central Arkansas and kind of getting a stronger foundation. We did Benton last year, and that was fun. And then
we talked about Benton.
We did Fayetteville, which was fun in way different ways. And Benton is still kind of Central Arkansas. It's between Little Rock and Hot Springs. But Hot Springs is where all the crystal mines are, or next to or Mount Ida, which is right there too. So it's a pretty big center for spirituality and crystal people and readers and things like that. So we're really excited about that one. That's in May, but we've got the Conway Market in March, and then we are doing a tarot and tea party fundraiser in April in Maumelle, which is Little Rock area, where it's a luncheon with tea. Our fairy tea mother, Monica, is going to be there doing something very special for us.
Yay, Monica. She is
Right?
just such a blessing to the world. I love her so much.
Yes. So that's new. And then we've got a couple other non-market events that we're going to be doing this year too, to help continue to build and grow and cultivate this community that is so desperately needed.
Yes. Oh, and the more the positive, the better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like T and Monica, there's no way anybody wouldn't love Monica and T.
Right.
And she brings all communities together. She is the fairy tea mother, Linda. She is absolutely, I mean, she has teacups everywhere, and she's a tea reader, but it's just a phenomenal reading and something that you have to book. And she does Missouri events. She does Arkansas. I believe she goes up to Iowa. I know she does Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
She's a little bit of everywhere. She travels around.
She does. We're very lucky to have her.
And Monica Murray is her name, and you can find her on Facebook as well.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these people travel all over. I know Missouri's got a few events going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. Iowa just got done with an oddity show.
Mm-hmm.
And Oklahoma has all kinds of shows going on as well. So depending on what area you're on or in, you could probably Facebook a community pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
So get out, and they don't cost, I don't feel like most of them cost as much as they used to cost. There for a while, they were kind of pricey, at least in the Missouri area, to get into. Now, if you go to a different type of fair, some of those fairs are a little more expensive. But like Chelsea, how much is yours?
Our max is $10 a day.
Yeah.
And then we have discounts and deals all the time, just to get, people who are curious. They don't want to have to spend a whole lot.
Yeah, and it's a great day. I mean, you can spend the whole day there. There's enough to do to spend the whole day. And here's the thing. Even if you can't afford to come out and like book 6 readings or spend a whole talkative kitty spend a whole lot of money on merch, you can still come out and talk to vendors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we will talk your ears off.
Mm-hmm.
So come out and meet us.
Yeah, the vendors, talking to the vendors and meeting everybody and learning just the differences that we all have just in those settings is fascinating. Like where we've all come from, what the interests are, what the next steps are, all of that sort of stuff. It's so fun.
Events like that is where you find items no place else. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, the stuff that I have gotten from some of these events has been crazy. Chelsea's too. Like Chelsea's events are amazing. Shade has been on. Shade, the oddities and the antique, I call it antique stuff, but the oddities and the death stuff and the creepy circus stuff. He comes to your events. You find him there. Norma, Monica, all those. So you have a full realm for everybody there. So if something isn't your type of thing, you're going to find a booth right next to it that probably is your type of thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Is Shade going to be down there? I think he is.
I'm not.
I think he is, because he's supposed to be bringing. What did I buy from him? I bought something. I did. I bought something from him. I did. I got a creepy death picture, and I got that shipped. And what did I just buy from him? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. But I paid for it, and it's going to be waiting for me when I come down there.
Fantastic.
It's a suicide kit.
Oh,
It's
all
a
right.
it's a poison kit. It's a flask, a metal flask, and it has the tax stamps, the old United States tax stamps for medications, and
Mhm.
sealed glass syringes, and it's got your cyanide and your oh the rat poisoning quinine, and then it's got cocaine and 4 or 5 other different drugs, and then the plunger, the thing that you put the ampules in to push
Mhm.
with a syringe in a leather case. So probably used like at wartime or something like that by one of the medics.
Right.
That's
That
what
is
I bought.
cool.
Yeah. So see, you find things like that at events like Chelsea's.
That's true.
Do you offer spaces for people to share their craft? Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
And craft is in quotation marks. So
Hmm.
craft, products, magic,
Hmm.
witchy craft, readings, metaphysical,
Hmm.
all of the above.
We don't discriminate.
No, nope, nope. And that's what I like about the fairs is everyone is welcome.
Hmm. Yeah, we
And
want it to be open because, again, we have nothing to hide. And
right.
we have so much to share. That's the whole thing is like we all just, there's so much out there.
And it's a totally safe space. I want to put that out there
Hmm.
for people too, because a lot of people are so worried and so fearful right now that it's not a political climate. Nobody's going to ask you who
Hmm.
you voted for. Nobody's going to ask you if you're religious or you're, Christian or if you're pagan. Nobody's going to ask you that unless you want to talk about it.
Hmm.
And then there's people there that'll talk to you about that. But no, it's not a controversial place. It's a very safe space.
Yes. Yes.
You like Miss Katie's on. She says, I like talking to at events like MUFON, MUFON humans. You like to, I'm not even going to try to paraphrase that. At events like what you're hosting. Yeah, come out and talk to us. Everybody,
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 all of you.
everybody needs to come. Everybody that's on.
It's worth it. That it's a great little place to come do stuff with us and then go eat and then come back and then stay the night and then come back the next day. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's a whole weekend.
Yeah, you can buy weekend packages
Hmm.
and come and just hang and come and go as you want and talk to different people and hang. And you're welcome to hang.
Yeah, we
And
want you
the
there for
energy's
us.
good. The energy's always fun. It's uplifting. It's clean. It's a clean space. It's not a nasty space.
Mm-mm.
So, and a lot of healing takes place too.
Yes,
And I dare say for the vendors as well.
I think so. I think I love the vendors. The vendors are the best part for me. Not that the attendees are not great too, but just the vendor experience is pretty
Hmm.
great on this side.
And we all get together and shop at each other's tables too, and that's just so much fun. I mean, shit. I don't know what to say. Chelsea knows. Chelsea knows I'm a buyer. Miss Katie is talking about me again. That's why I love her. No, Greg, she's not talking about you. Greg's one of our podcasters too. So we've got the producer and a podcaster both on chat.
Perfect.
And Chelsea brings her animals out to the fair too, so you can see some of the animals that want new families.
Hmm.
They're looking for looking for their permanent happy family forever. They're forever home.
Yes.
So, you know, you got to come out and see the animals too. It's a big thing.
Absolutely.
Everybody's just saying hi
I
now.
know.
I
But
love
it's
this part when
fun.
somebody new comes on and everybody's like, hi, hi, hi. It's its own little community. So what else is going on? Anything?
So other than all the things, we are moving into an online forum as well, online community, so that for people who like when we started talking that are just tired of the mainstream social media that's out there, it's a place that they could still feel that same social, they get that the social pickups
Uh-huh.
and social connections, but there's not that worry that, how did I say it the other day? Not the worry that like Aunt Martha's going to see that you are interested in going to like some baby eating event or something. Mhm. And then, you have to explain that at your next Sunday dinner or whatever. It's a completely private space where you can just go and you can ask questions and get to know other people, just like Enchanted in person, but it's Enchanted online.
Oh, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
So that's the next big evolution on everything Enchanted wise.
That's huge.
It is. It is. I'm excited. It's something I used to do a long time ago before Facebook. And then Facebook kind of killed off all the private forums and little sites where people would, have their communities. So I'm excited to like kind of take that back a little bit.
That's really great, because it is, for those of you that are listening that are not in the mystic or metaphysical world, it is really hard. I mean, there's a huge open accepting community and we all tend to draw towards each other, but we also get that flack for being what we are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole thing too. So you can't always say, some of us do anyway, but a lot of people don't feel like they can say what they want to say in a comfortable manner. And there's a lot of people that are like us that have not come out of the closet yet.
Mm-hmm. It's very true.
They're still very, very hidden away because their people and their families would not respect or would not approve of the things that they do.
Yeah.
So there's still a huge stigma.
There is. And there always probably will be. I don't see it ever.
Well, it's that which you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody handed you a cherry pie and you'd never had cherries and you didn't know what they were, you're going to be a little frightened at first to eat it, maybe.
Yeah, true.
I mean, anything we don't know that's different, or we've been told something bad about, makes it fearful for some people, and that's okay too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we have to have safety though. For some people, it's a safe thing because some people don't make it safe for other people.
Correct. That's very, very true.
And we want to protect those. Greg says what you do with animals is absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Linda says Greg has an animal. Did I say that right? Animal. See, my mouth is not working tonight. Animal totem deck. This would not be the time to bring cinnamon into it. That's a word that I can say half the time. I've lost friendships and family and some in-laws. It's sad that people have to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always easy to push the boundary. Sometimes trying to make new friends, but taking that one step at a time helps. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Greg's not big into cherries. Okay, Greg. Well, I mean, it could have been apples, but something that we're not familiar with. So yeah, the whole experience thing with and that's the nice thing about fairs too. I've got to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that enough. It is an open place that people can come without fear of harassment.
Right.
And that makes it for vendors as well, because having vended in town events that are generic public human events, not for witches or metaphysical people or anything like that, it makes it very difficult when you present as the witch of the group. And, you've got multiple church groups lined up next to you, and you're sitting there with the one and you're trying to explain what it is that you do while you've got a whole table full of occult stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn to talk, and you have to learn to talk to the people next to you and not be afraid. And that's the whole thing too, because, that fear of being judged or
Well,
ridiculed.
yeah, because some people can get pretty nasty. And
Yeah, they can.
whether you're a vendor or an attendee, or are you just a human being,
It can come out at any time. My favorite thing to do, though, is I always go, what would Jesus think?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're kind of like, oh. And then they walk on, and then they leave your booth alone the rest of the time. So it's like, okay, I don't need you around. Bye. It works. It's my podcast. I can say what I want to say.
Right, exactly.
Fairs are, let's see, fairs. I'm trying to read on my phone, folks, so pardon the squinting, and like it looks like ant poop, and I'm trying to get close enough I can see it. Yes, fairs like what we are in the Midwest are the best. I'm from South Carolina, and there are no metaphysical fairs. Ooh, I did not know that.
Really? I'm surprised there's that many in Arkansas if there's none in South Carolina.
Huh. So South Carolina is that like Bible Belt too, or is that, I don't know anything about South Carolina.
I don't really know a whole lot about South Carolina. I'm not going to lie.
She said yes.
Okay.
That was it. There we go. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, new territory. Let's do this.
But like Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
they have a whole lot of metaphysical things there, but New Orleans.
Yeah. Well, they've got the culture there to have
Yeah.
it. Arkansas has a pretty big culture as well, considering the crystals and the natives and everything else that's been here. Like there's a lot of indigenous reasons why it's probably not better, but there's probably more here than there would be over more on the East Coast, because the East Coast got kind of wiped out of everything way before this area did.
Now, East Coast has a huge paranormal following. Like they have a lot of paranormal shows. A lot.
Well, so
the north,
yeah, north, yeah,
Pennsylvania, Massachusetts,
right,
New Jersey, that whole area is full.
Yeah.
A lot of competition up there for fairs.
There is. That's actually, I started outside of DC many before moving to Arkansas many years ago, and they had just started these there. And it suddenly, after I moved, there's probably 20 where I used to live. So, which is a good thing. It's a really good thing.
That is. It is.
Unless you're a business person and trying to survive on that. But, it's all for the collective good.
It is. Well, and more people are probably more prone to go too, because it's a safe, you've got so many of them.
Yeah.
South Carolina censors even certain bands. Oh, wow. I had no idea it was that.
Wow.
Whoa.
Huh.
Whoa.
I thought it was a beachy vacation in South Carolina. I guess I'm way out of the loop there.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't have thought that at all. That shows you what I know. The word paranormal probably has a different connotation than the word metaphysical. Well, yeah and no. I mean, there's a lot of whoop. There's a lot of metaphysical vendors that show up at paranormal events.
Yes.
And there's a lot of paranormal investigators that are metaphysical people.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of psychics involved in the paranormal community.
Yeah.
So it will cross paths very fluently. Where there's one, you'll find the others. They may not call themselves that, but they're within the teams.
Yeah.
Katie says, Corn, Rob Zombie, Ozfest. They're not. They don't go there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know why things surprise me anymore, but that does surprise me.
I know, right? Like, I'm totally floored by that. I don't know why. I don't know. I guess I just thought bands traveled all over the place, and so did metaphysical people.
Right?
I mean, one way or the other, a church may show up at your event and protest, but you're still going to have the event. We've been through that. That's nothing. and eat at your vendor tracks and
Right.
and pay to get in and videotape you or not.
Or not.
Or not.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Yes. Seinfeld is not allowed anymore either. What? What? I'm learning all kinds of things tonight. Seinfeld. What the hell? Those in the know have no problem. Yeah, you're right, Linda. Those people that know don't have problems with either world. And why have problems when when you don't have to? Well, I mean, why make problems? That has always fascinated me. I don't know. I mean, I could go further with that too, and that's like for another podcast. But people make it a problem. It always amazes me. Like, I am open about what I do. I'll tell people what I do. My Facebook page says what I do. I am what I am, and people will still get on and make threats, and I'm like, did you really just do that? Are you that kind of special? Like, you just came at me like a spider monkey, and you don't think that I'm gonna do something back?
Right.
Free speech. Yes, everybody has the right.
It's true.
It is true. It is true. Anybody have any questions for Chelsea? I love having her on because the openness and community with her and her peeps it's so huge, and so many of the people that I have on my podcasts are from her shows. Like, for real, over half the people I've had are people that have been to her shows. It's a great community, and I've made so many close friends and met so many neat people, and the communication and the ability to share on the podcast for me has made it worth my while, because I've put people out there that nobody's ever heard of this stuff before, and especially some of my viewers are like, what, people do this with blood, or they have these weird oddity shows and things like that. It's a way to communicate and get things out there, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Greg wants to know, how long have you been doing all of your classes?
Oh, so like yoga classes, I've been teaching 8 years, I think, something like that. 9 years, I don't know, a while. Other classes, I think I started teaching those like 20 something years ago, like tarot classes and intuition development. What was the other one I used to do? Tarot, intuition development. There's a third one. So yeah, it's been about 20 years, because 20. I'll go with that.
So if you're interested in learning something, Chelsea I'll make sure that the stuff gets back up on the feed, but all of her different websites are listed on the YouTube channel, with the podcast introducing who my guest is going to be. Like, we post all of those links. We can post those again. But if you get a hold of Chelsea, there's probably not a class out there that she couldn't offer in metaphysics. I mean, she does a lot of different things.
Yeah, I've been doing this stuff. I was a kid. I was young when I first got into it. My background was not religious. Astrology was a religion. Is the best way I can put it. So I've been doing this a long, long time. Don't know everything. How could you possibly know everything? But I know a lot.
There you go. So if you want to learn something, that's a good place to start, is to sign up for some of her classes. See, I found it best to have discernment when it comes to conflict and know when not to speak. It just fuels the fire. Absolutely, that too. And some of us are learning to keep our mouth closed, but it don't work all the time. I'm trying.
I'm very yogic right now, but I know.
I mean, sometimes it just flies, and then I'm like, well, shit.
Sorry about that.
But Katie knows I'm working on it, right, Katie? I'm really trying hard. You missed the wobbles and stomps. It sounds interesting. Wobbles and stomps for review is, go ahead and tell them again real quick.
It's a special needs animal sanctuary where we take in broken cats and dogs and kittens and puppies and fix them, adopt them out, or keep them for ourselves.
There you go.
That was pretty good.
That was very good. That was like, you should record that. That's like A beautiful commercial for Wobbles and Stomps. Linda says she's enjoying the interview very much, Chelsea.
Thank you. Thank you.
And yes, I am trying, Katie. I'm trying very hard. God, it's a hard thing for me to do. It's 62. I'm just fuck. I'm trying. I haven't given up yet. Linda says that was a great commercial. And Wobbles and Stumps. God bless.
I mean, we've got some tripods, so there's stumps.
Yes. Wobbles and Stomps also is where her proceeds go for her fairs.
Mm-hmm.
So her metaphysical events, the proceeds go to help fund special needs animals and to take care of the ones that nobody wants, that are going to be the ones that are going to go to kill shelters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really important thing. At Wobbles and Stomps. Thank you. Yes. That just got put up there. My daughter has been teaching yoga for a long time. She was with Core Power for a long time and now runs Little Tykes Yoga in Seattle and Bellevue. Wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Little Tykes Yoga. I love that.
That's cool.
What a cool thing. Yeah. That's great. I can just see little kids like trying to, all of them with their little butts up in the air and then like, trying to get in the positions and rolling all around. It'd be fun.
That's a practice in itself.
That would be man, I don't know. I don't have the patience for that. That's great. That's awesome. I have a dog that can do downward dog only because he was around every time I was watching the tapes in my yoga class with you, Chelsea. and so now when he really wants a treat, and I said, do you really want a treat? He'll get into the downward dog position and he sticks his butt up in the air and he's so funny. Like, it's like, yeah. So he did learn that. He learned downward dog because just like Hoot Yoga 11. Is that supposed to be hot yoga? Or hoot yoga?
Hoot yoga.
Hoot yoga sounds like fun. Hot yoga, no. I don't want to play hot yoga. Not a hot yoga fan, but hoot yoga could be fun to laugh and do yoga at the same time. Would become a gymnastics class in tumbling and everything else. Especially with me. Slap happy here. You gotta laugh. It's Sunday night. Come on, we're going into Monday. We got snow coming. We got to laugh. Any last questions, guys? Any last questions or comments? We are so side-blinded when we don't know when a person has limited beliefs regarding this field. I have a hit and miss when it comes to being cautious with what I say. Been there. Yeah. Sometimes you think you know somebody and you say something and then it's like, well, shit. Yeah. That was the wrong person to say that to. Yeah. It's okay though. We've all been there.
And we'll be there again.
I will be. Chelsea's a little more calm and discreet. I just let it out. Hot yoga. He did not mean hoot yoga. He meant hot yoga. Hot yoga. Yeah, no, I don't do that.
Next stream, we're going to hoot.
I like hoot yoga. I think we should all do hoot yoga.
I think so.
We need that.
New business. Here we go.
We could do that. We could start the whole hoot yoga humor thing and
yeah.
All right. We should try that. We need more laughter in the world.
Absolutely.
Stop suppressing yourselves just because someone don't believe the way you do. Well, that's the whole thing too. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. Chelsea, thank you so much for tonight.
Well, thank you. Again.
Get out there and everybody come see us in Conway, please. Please come see us in Conway. It's a great place to meet. I mean, so Greg, you're so far away. I get that. Like, I think Greg is up in, I'm going to blow this. Are you up in, I know that there's like a difference, Wisconsin or Michigan? But you're way up there. You're up there far enough. You might not make it down to see us.
You should though.
But you could. You could come down for the weekend and see us.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, Illinois isn't that far.
That's just driving through Missouri.
Yeah. You should come and see. Everybody says, thanks for being you. God. Somebody help me. Northern Illinois.
That's
Oh,
right.
Wisconsin border. He's on the Wisconsin border. That is a little further, but you can
No,
still come down for the weekend.
you can still do it if you've really loved us.
Yes. Yeah, we can do the guilt thing really strongly. We can. Pretty please come see us. Chelsea, thank you again for being on. Wobbles and
Thank
Stomps,
you.
guys. Chelsea's a big supporter, so I'm giving her a shout out, and please come down and see her events. If you can't make it to the Conway show, make it to the Hot Springs show, or go see the Fairy Tea Mother of, and have lunch and tea. Come see us, help sponsor her Wobbles and Stomps, everybody. And again, thank you. And thank you guys for being on the show tonight. Great questions, great comments. Love to you all. And I thank you.